Hi guys, Knife Detector here. For those of you just tuning into my channel, occasionally what I do is I like to do some how-to videos. Now my channel is mostly dedicated to knives that are unique, maybe that people don't see every day, knives that are lesser known knives, right? But that they're quite interesting. And if you're new to my channel and you like some knives, you like collecting knives, and you like to see knives that maybe you don't see every day, but that it's nice to know that they're out there. Or maybe you once saw a knife that you really liked and you don't know what it's called. Well, you might find it on my channel, because I do like for the unique. I like to look for the not quite known, the unseen, and the unusual. So that's the kind of stuff that I like to make videos about in regards to knives. Occasionally I do knife customizations. I have made some knives, knife reparations, and every once in a while I like to customize a knife. So with this particular knife, I did a little paracord lanyard on this one. But when I bought this knife, I noticed that the scales were broken, and I got a really good deal on this knife because of that. Because the scales are broken, I got a great deal, and I wanted to share with you that you can go ahead and buy these scales on eBay for about, depending on the scales, between $10 and $15. Now, I'm going to share with you an eBay seller, and I'm going to put those pictures up at the beginning of this video, so hopefully you already saw those at the beginning of this video. And if you want to order from this person, you can go ahead and just pause it when you see the first part of my video. He doesn't resell, he sells scales for Victorinox knives. And these scales are pretty decent, guys. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to do a scale change on this knife. And I'm going to show you just how easy it is to replace the scales on this knife. So the first thing I want to do is show you that once you order these scales, they do take about a month to get to the United States. And the reason for that is that they are coming from the Ukraine. So this seller is from the Ukraine. I've already bought from him about 4 times. And each time, you know, I do have to wait a month. It takes a while to get these scales, but what you get is pretty decent. So I'm going to show you what that is. Those are the stamps that it needed to get here. So we're going to cut this envelope using the very knife that I'm going to repair. That's what you're going to get. Okay, so you're going to get just a piece of paper. I assume these are, I don't know what this is, but this is some type of writing. And I think it was just for the purposes of packaging. And you get this in here. And there are the scales. And there you go. What I wanted to do is to upgrade to some ruby red scales for this Victorinox Tinker. So that's what I ordered. And the total price that it cost me was $9.80. Let's put the scary part away. Okay. So $9.80 gets you this if you wait a month. Gets you this ruby red scales, really shiny, really pretty. Looks like good quality to me. There you go. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the contents of this bag. Now I like to keep these bags because if I can ship something too in it that I sell, well, that's great, and I don't have to buy a bag. Let's see what's in here. Okay, this is really wrapped tightly, but what these are is the toothpick and the tweezers. There's a toothpick, there's the tweezers. So you're not just paying for scales here, you're actually paying for the entire set. And these are plus scales, which means they also have a pin. Be careful how you take that pin out, guys. Which I am currently bending now, trying to take out. It's coming. It's coming. There it is. Okay. But we're going to save that for later. And we're going to move these out of the way. First thing you're going to do is take out the old tweezers and the old toothpick. Now, I will use these more than likely for another knife that I have that I bought in a lot that is missing the toothpicks and pliers. So I'm just going to reuse those. First thing you got to do is you got to remove the old scales, right? And to do that, usually you take a small flathead screwdriver and you insert it in there where the toothpick or pliers would be, and you just pry up. And then you pry up, trying not to scratch the knife or any important parts, and or scratch yourself, right? And you tilt it up. Then you got that. That's what you have exposed. You may have a lot of dirt in there too when you remove these, because there's a lot of dirt and grime that gets stuck in there. Now, in the past I would throw these away because sometimes they don't come away clean. But I've learned that sometimes you may want to keep them just because you may find one that is badly in need of scales and you may not have any. Well, if you have some used ones that fit the bill, then maybe that'll do for meanwhile. So you go around the edge until you remove them. There you go. One of the things I like to do once I do that is just give it like a wipe down with some Clorox wipes. Just because I want to remove any dirt and grime. And you got to remember, guys, in these Victorinox knives, that toothpick, those tweezers, you don't know what people were tweezing and toothpicking, you know? So whatever spit they had in their mouth or whatever they were tweezing up in their ears or in their nose, some of that remnants might have landed in here. So because of that, I tend to use Clorox wipes whenever I wipe these down, right? Okay, so once you got that, you have to try and figure out which scale goes on which side, right? So because this one has the clearance issue there with this is a Victorinox Tinker, you know that's the scale that goes on that side. So we're going to go ahead and open this up just to make it a little easier. Dry that my shirt a little bit. We're going to position it carefully. Okay, then you're going to give it a little press. Depending on how strong your thumbs are, you might be able to press that in where the buttons are. There's one on the bottom. We're going to give that a press. One in the top. We're going to give that a press. Make sure it lines up. One in the middle. And we're going to give that a press. Okay, now that might be enough right there. If you are strong enough in your hands that you're able to do that. But I know some of us may have arthritis or something that prevents us from doing that. And I'm going to give you another fix for that as well in a little bit. But that's on there pretty good and tight. So that's pretty much done. So I'm going to go ahead and snap that back on. But I'm going to show you how to do the other side. So again, you want to make sure that everything lines up properly. And once you got it in the holes, you give it a little press to start it off. Give the other side a little press to start it off. And then you go ahead and you press with all your might to pull it in. Push it all the way in. Center one. This one. Okay, that is pretty much in. Another thing I like to do is I like to press it down. Usually I put it down here. So let's say I get a napkin, it's not something not too abrasive, and I'm going to give it a good press down. Just like that. Now that's it. Those are on there, guys. Those ain't coming off. Not unless they're pried off. However, an alternative is this. This is an articulated vise. So you can, this is usually for hobbyists, right? I use this sometimes. It's got a suction cup in the bottom. Got it at Harbor Freight. You can go ahead and put this in. It's got a rubber guard here so you don't scratch what you're working on. And you can give it a good tightening right there. Just a little bit of a squeeze. Not too badly, right? And then you go ahead and do the middle. back, just like that. Little bit of the squeeze right there. Excuse my Nacho Libre references there. Once you do that, you know, what you're doing is you're basically just making sure that it's not going to come apart. And then you're done. There you go. So my broken scales, right next to it, dirty, old, with the new scales. So all that's left to do is you put in the correct pieces as far as the tweezers, toothpicks, and these are plus scales. So in here there's a little groove for, you guessed it, the pin. So you find the little hole, if I can manage to see it, and you stick that little guy in there. There it is. And you are done, my friend. So it's that easy. It doesn't take very long. It's an easy hobby. You can buy a used Swiss Army knife for a few bucks, right? Order some new scales from the gentleman I showed you. I'm going to show you his eBay site, and you're good to go. So this is Knife Detector signing off, saying have a blessed day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. Please also share my videos with any of your friends that might have the same hobbies that you do, the same interests. I like to show the unusual. I like to show a little bit of how-to, just to let you guys know, hey, you can do it too. All right? This is Knife Detector saying stay sharp, signing off.